Okay, so this is the Target 7A retake review. So you're going to watch these problems, take notes, and then you have some practice problems to try at the end. Okay, so this first one we have to find the sum of the measures of the interior angles. Now remember, the interior angle sum formula is n minus 2 times 180. So I'm going to use that formula, n minus 2 times 180. Remember, n is equal to the number of sides. Not to number of sides. So in this case, it says it's a polygon with 23 sides. So I'm going to use 23 for n. So I'm going to do 23 minus 2 times 180. And 23 minus 2 is 21. So 21 times 180. And I believe that that is, I don't know, I'm going to have to do it on my calculator. So 21 times 180. I get 3780. I'm going to just try that one more time. 21 times 180. Yep, 3780 is correct. So the answer is 3780. Okay, for number 2, it says we have to draw a regular polygon whose interior angle sum is 720. And then we have to label the measure of each interior angle. Now, since it says it's regular, that means all the sides and all the angles are equal. But I can't draw it until I figure out how many sides this has. So I'm still going to use the n minus 2 times 180 formula. But remember, this is equal to the angle sum. But I already know what the angle sum is. I know that the angle sum, let me get a new color, is 720. It tells me so right here. So I can say n minus 2 times 180 equals 720. Now, there's many ways to solve this. I could distribute the 180 through first, or I could divide by 180 first. I'm going to go ahead and divide by 180. If I distribute the 180 through first, I'll get the same answer. So here I get n minus 2 equals, and I have to do 720 divided by 180. So 720 divided by 180 is 4. So n minus 2 equals 4. And I'm going to add 2, and I get n is 6. So now I know my polygon has 6 sides. So 6 sides is a hexagon, and I have to draw a hexagon. So hexagon actually looks like two trapezoids stacked on top of each other like that. This is the easiest way, I think, to draw a hexagon. It's, if you draw, like I said, the two isosceles trapezoids stacked onto each other, then you get yourself a hexagon. I'm going to draw it a little bigger over here so that we can put, it wants us to label the measure of each interior angle. So I'm going to make it a little bit bigger right here. So here's that one looks bad. And then the same one down here. Okay, and then these are all equal because it's regular. I know mine doesn't look exactly equal. It's really hard to draw this, so as long as yours looks mostly equal, you'll get credit. Now I have to figure out how big each angle is. So remember, there were 720 degrees, and there were 6 sides. So I'm going to do 720 divided by 6, and I get 120. So I know that each angle is 120. So it wants me to label the 6 interior angles. So I know all of these angles are 120. So 120, 120, 120, 120. Okay? For number 3, we have to find the measure of angle A. So if you notice right here, angle A is blank, so we don't know what it adds up to. Now notice this isn't regular. We know it's not regular because all of these angles are different sizes. None of the angles are equal. Or not all of the angles are equal, so that makes it irregular. So I can't just figure out what it is and divide. So first I need to know how many sides it is. So I'm going to count the sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is an octagon. So now I need to know what all the angles of an octagon add up to. So I'm going to say 8 minus 2 times 180. Remember, I'm still using the n minus 2 times 180. And 8 minus 2 is 6, and 6 times 180, I believe, is 1080. But I'm just going to double check that on my calculator. 6 times 180, yep, 1080. Okay, so now we know all the angles add up to 1080. So now I just have to set up an equation. So I'm going to get a different color now. Use the red. And I'm going to set up an equation. So I'm going to say, I'll start with this angle. So that angle's 138. So I'm going to say 138 plus 106 plus 146 and 146 again, and 111 and 142 and 165 plus x. So I'm going to call this angle that I don't know here x, and that should equal 1080. Just running out of room here. So I need to have all 8 angles equaling 1080. So I want to make sure there's 8 angles here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good, I got them all. So now I'm going to use my calculator to add these up. So I'm going to do 138 plus 106 plus 146 plus 146 again plus 111 plus 142 plus 165, and I get 954. So right now it looks like I have 954 plus x equals 1080. Okay, now I added a whole bunch of numbers there, so there's a good chance that maybe I added incorrectly. So I think it's in your best interest to add these numbers up again and make sure that they're right. So I'm going to go ahead and do that again. 138, 106, 146, 146 again, 111, 142, and 165. And yeah, I got 954, so that's correct. Now I got to get x by itself, so I'm going to subtract 954 from both sides. And I get x equals 1080 minus 954, and that is 126. And let me just double check that with the calculator. 1080 minus 954. Yeah, 126. So I get the measure of angle A equals 126. Okay, number 4. This time we want to find the sum of the exterior. So this is the exterior. Okay, so remember the exterior angle sum is 360. Okay, so it doesn't matter how many sides there are, it is always 360. Okay, whether it's an octagon like this one with 8 sides, or a 20-gon or a 27-gon, the exterior angle sum is 360. So that's one thing. It said find the sum of the exterior angles. I found it. That's it right there. It's 360. Okay. Then it says find the measure of each exterior angle. And remember, this says it's regular, so that means all the angles are equal. So to find one exterior angle, so this is just one exterior angle. All of them added up, remember, is 360, but to just find one, I do 360 divided by how many there are. And again, this is an octagon, which has 8 sides, so 360 divided by 8. And I don't know what that is, so I'm going to use my calculator. And I get 45. 360 divided by 8 is 45. Okay? And then lastly is an error analysis problem. So we have to look at this and see if there is a mistake. And if there is a mistake, I'm going to fix it. If there's not a mistake, I'm going to say I agree with it. And I have to explain what I come up with. So let's read the problem. It says, Susie determined that the measure of one exterior angle, so this says exterior, of a rectangular heptagon. So she determined the measure of one exterior angle, so she said the answer is 128.6. And then she showed her work, so we're going to agree. So do we agree with Susie or not? Well, this formula that she's using, n minus 2 times 180, that's the interior angle sum, not the exterior angle sum. And in this problem, it wants us to find the exterior angle. So she used the wrong formula. So I'm going to write that down. Susie used the interior angle sum formula instead of the exterior. Okay, so we don't agree with her, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to correct it. We're going to correct her error. I guess I should add that to the problem. I want you to go ahead and correct it. Okay, so I know that they should add up, the exterior angles add up to 360, so I should do 360 divided by, now a heptagon is definitely 7, so 360 divided by 7 is the correct answer. So plugging that in to my calculator, 360 divided by 7, I get 51.4. 28, blah, blah, but I'm going to just write 51.4. And then just one more time, 360 divided by 7, and I get 51.4. Okay, so on your test, it might be a different mistake. Maybe they would use the right formula. So you want to see if they're using the right formula, interior or exterior. That's one thing to always check for. And then another common mistake is using the wrong side. So a heptagon has 7 sides, so they did use 7. And then you check the math. 7 minus 2 is 5. 5 times 180 is 900. And then 900 divided by 7 would be 28.6. So a common mistake would be instead of using a heptagon, saying heptagon 7, maybe they think it's 6 sides or 8 sides or 12 sides, who knows. So using the wrong number in here can create a mistake as well. Okay, so the following problems you have to try on your own, and then you have to show them to a math lab teacher or your geometry teacher or a geometry support teacher. Okay, and then they can and you can do the retake. Okay, so for number 1, here's number 1. You're finding the sum of the measures of the interior angles of a convex polygon with 25 sides. Okay, you'll have to pause it and solve it, and then look at problem number 2. So here's 2. You're drawing and labeling a regular polygon whose interior angle sum is 900. Number 3. You're finding the missing angle. You're finding the measure of angle A. And number 4, you're finding the sum of the exterior angles of a regular 15 gone and the measure of each exterior angle. And then number 5, you're looking to see if there is some sort of mistake here, or if you agree with what she did. Okay? Good luck.